The killer one is the unmotivated time. It's the time that's lost because they're checking their phone. It's the time that they lose because they're mad at you. It's the time that they lose because you have X amount to get done today, but one of the guys calls in sick. Okay? Employees who call in sick regularly don't have a long term in my companies. Why? Because I can't. Because there's no way to plan around it. I have no control over it. I can't decide if you're sick or not. Okay? But you can certainly be too sick to work in my industry. Okay? That, I'll give you the opposite of it. I think my dad was a world-class employee. My dad was the greatest of what employees can be. And that's because he was smart enough to be an owner, but he didn't believe in it. He bought into my dad would be in his 70s now, the time period he grew up in and so forth. He bought into the ethos of a guy goes to work for a company and he works there for 50 years and they give him a watch and he goes off and retires. And he was a great employee for Boeing and was incredibly good. What made him a great employee? I can remember in high school, my dad came home one day and said, well, I'm on vacation. We didn't know this was coming. What do you mean on vacation? Well, what it means is they took my badge and said I'm not allowed to go back to work for a month. What do you mean by that? No, it's he worked so consistently every single day because he cared about the projects he was on and he internalized them. His projects were him. And so his project was not going to not get done because of him. And he oversaw a group of people, but it meant that you rack up X amount of days for how many hours you work. It's a standard large company business. The thing is he had gone so long without taking his days of vacation that Boeing's insurance people actually came and said that person is a hazard, and it's because they see it as a company-wide thing. And they go, no, they see in their own calculations, they go, people who never take a day off are going to create a big problem at some point because they're too tired, they're going to make mistakes, and so their system says, and they very well are good at calculating that stuff. They said, no, you can't let employees do that. Love employees that you have to drive them off. Say, no, go take a day. Please go away. That's what you're looking for, because when you hire somebody on day one, when you hire them, it's because you think they're going to show up all the time. Okay? Everything they give you says they're a good employee and they show up all the time. You've called their references, and references are... I'm trying to think if I've ever called somebody's references. I've been somebody's references plenty of times, but I'm trying to think if I've ever called somebody's references. Because references are a joke. If you are any sort of person looking to get a job, who are your 3 references? Oh, they're the 3 people who are going to tell me the best stuff about you. Why do I want to talk to those people? Honestly, why do I want to talk to those people? I'd like to be able to talk to the 3 people who hate your guts. I'd like to talk to the 3 people who fired you. But you're not going to tell me who those people are. I'm going to have to hunt those people down. Why? Because that's what I really want to know. What I really want to know is what am I going to have to deal with you as an employee? Now, I don't want to be like that. I'd like to be able to ignore that stuff. The problem is that's going to matter a lot more to my bottom line than all your best characteristics. And oh, by the way, I've never had an employee bad enough that there wasn't something good about them. I wouldn't have hired them in the first place if there wasn't something good about them. They were likable, or they looked good on paper at least. The challenge is every employer is looking to find the people who are going to make them money. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so getting a job. Interesting. Right now they say is a difficult time to get a job because unemployment is up, so forth. Is now a good time to go looking for a job? Yes. Now is absolutely a brilliant time to go looking for a job. Why? because things are difficult, which means every employee is a higher risk. Most companies have taken a beating in the last year, if they've survived at all. Restaurants that are operating right now, that are operating on with their doors closed, basically, do they have employees working? Yes, they have some employees working. Who? The very best employees. Why? Because they have to have those people. Because every employee is a risk. Things are not adding up. One bad employee can sink a company right now. So why do I want to be looking? Because I'm going to be damn good at what I do. And as long as you're going to be good at what you do, and it's your responsibility to be good at what you do, right now competition is up. When competition is up, good employees do great. Why? Because it'll pay off in the long run. Because companies cannot stand to have bad employees right now. They can't. You can't afford it. Money is too tight. What businesses are hiring right now? Now's a little bit tough. Normally, my normal thing, but I'm just going to say it because really it's close to true. What companies are hiring? All companies are hiring. Now, I'm much more a small business guy than a big business guy, okay? I care about companies with that, not I care about. I am an expert in companies that have an owner, okay? Which means publicly traded companies I'm not as knowledgeable in. I have people close to me who are very knowledgeable in it, but that's not as, they work on a little bit different parameters. Although they, just as anybody else, needs good employees right now. And I think it's a competitive time in those places. I think they're a great place to be looking. If you're good at what you do, they need you just as much. I'm just less versed in them. But if I'm out there looking for a job right now, I always tell my students, first thing is you choose where you want to work. It is your responsibility to be a good employee. What I mean by that is if you want to succeed going forward, it's going to be because you make money for the company. Period, end of story. That's how it happens. Okay? Where are you most likely to do that? At a company you want to work for. Oh, by the way, can you make money for every company? No, because there are crappy companies out there, nobody's making money for them. So you want to be going into a place that's worth working.